Welcome to another episode of How Creators Make Money. Today we dive into growth hacks on how you can grow your newsletter and podcast. Example with creator Lenny, who is making $3 million a year through 7 different income streams, and LinkedIn launching AdSense and paying out creators, and why your views on your videos might be trash compared to earlier this year. So stay tuned. Yo, Justin, have you heard of the Lenny and Friends community?
No, what's that?
So I've been following this person named Lenny Rachitsky. He has a newsletter called Lenny's Newsletter, and I counted. He's a former tech worker, and I read an article. He's been estimated making $3 million a year through 7 streams of income. Can you guess what these income streams could possibly be?
Set 3 million a year off of 7 streams. So you said that he's got a newsletter. I heard the name before. I was really interested in him a while ago, but I haven't kept up with him. I know before he had a job board, and I don't know if he's still doing the job board or not. But I'm trying to think, what else would there be? Maybe like as an influencer, like brand deal stuff, because I know he creates a lot of content on like Twitter at least. I'm not sure on short form or anything like that. But yeah, what else is he working on?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Lenny, he has a really cool newsletter. I've actually known it since I was a senior in college, and he makes a lot of content for he is a former product designer at a lot of big tech companies, and he interviews a lot of cool founders and CEOs of really large companies too, and shares product insights, AI insights, tech insights. So it's information that's relevant to anybody working in tech, whether they're an engineer, designer, product person, salesperson, and more. And his podcast is really great. And I was looking at his newsletter and website. I counted 7 streams of income. He has newsletter. He has I think 100,000 or a million newsletter subscribers, and then they have different tiers of pricing, but it's estimated at around $2 million a year from just newsletter subscribers from his Substack, which is really amazing. This is not brand deals at all, just pure fan base.
What's in
He
the
also
what's in
has
the newsletter?
so let me pull it up. So he actually has a couple of free newsletters and paid newsletter tier. So he has a 1.1 million subscribers. I can share my screen too. Let me share my screen. Do-do. So I'm logging to my other account, Lenny's newsletter. So yeah, he has 1.1 million subscribers, and he talks about vibe, hot topics in tech, tech Twitter. San Francisco Tech would love to do vibe coding. He summarizes his podcast, so he has a balance of free and paid podcast stuff. It's all about AI or burnout, or these are general topics that I feel are relevant to anybody working in tech. And if you subscribe, there's a half, there's mostly it's paid. A lot of people it's $20 a month. So, and estimated I read online it's $2 million a year, but there's also people who they also have access to a private Slack, which is Lenny's and Friends community, but they also host meetups around the world. I've seen meetups in LA and SF and Europe and Asia too. So he has individual, grouped, and gift sponsorships too. So it's about $2 million a year in just newsletter sponsorships. And he also has a podcast, which is pretty great. He interviews people are pretty experienced in tech, much CEOs and bunch of product leaders. I saw him at Config actually. He was doing a live podcast with Dylan Fields, which is the CEO of Figma. And that's how I knew about his podcast, is through him doing the live podcast at Config a couple of years ago at the Figma conference. He also talks about how he AIs, which is another YouTube channel he has about how he interviews other tech leaders, how they AI. Because I feel right now there's so many AI tools coming out, and people are just confused about what to do, and this kind of demystifies it. Talks about what he reads. He has a community too, a Slack, a private Slack community where he hosts meetups around the world. And yes, he was also, I saw this, which is interesting. Lenny Bot, which is this AI bot of his brain, so I can ask him anything, which is a free bot. I think it's to develop more of a deeper connection with Lenny. And yeah, a leaderboard as well to see subscribers. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. I counted like, so he has a first stream of income is his newsletter subscribers, which is $2 million a year. His newsletter is actually sponsored. So a bunch of tech companies sponsor his podcast. He also has in real life events like the Lenny's and Friends Summit and meetups. Summit, Lenny and Friends Summit. My friend helped me organize it. There was like, it was like an invite only summit and you had to get invited. So it's like a super curated crowd and the tickets were pretty expensive. Actually, I think the tickets were, pull it up. They're like pretty high profile speakers. A lot of sponsors for his conference too. And this was last year's summit. I think he's going to do it every 2 years. I think his tickets were at least $1,000. I remember. And most people paid for it or had their company budget pay for it too. So that's the third stream of income. Fourth stream of income could be like a job board. He had a job board a while ago. It's like a pay to post I saw, like a product job board. He also has like affiliate links. For example, his like newsletter, he has sponsored like tools and stuff that he can put affiliate links in. He also does angel investing and has merch.
Yeah, I'm diving
He has like
into
merch.
Lenny's
Yeah.
stuff right now. Like I mean, he's killing it. I think this is the playbook that we need to follow, right? Like or is he just really good at Twitter? Because
And
I
LinkedIn
think
too.
that's where I originally found him was Twitter. Okay, and LinkedIn as well.
Yeah, he also has a job board, Lenny's talent team. And job recruiting is so lucrative. Like I know for a founding engineer, they pay an average of 30K. If you can refer them. For a founding designer, it's like 10 to 20K. It's usually about 10 to 20% first year salary. So and then $5,000 for like a mid-level designer and like $10,000 for like an engineer. So it's like pretty craft way of making a lot of money. He also invests
No,
like angel investor
Lenny's
in like
story
cool companies.
is crazy. I really want to dive deeper into it. Like, have you done any research on sort of how he was able to grow this sort of income? Because I think that's the goal, right? Is A, making a lot of money. I think that's amazing. But also B, how do you diversify it, right? Because if you're just doing brand deals, where we found even with like Declassified and stuff, like that brand deal money can disappear just like that, right? If the economy shifts or anything like that. But he's got 7, if not more, different streams of income. With something like that, did you dive into how he launched any of this stuff?
Yeah, it seems like he launched it a while ago, back in 2019, and then he quit his job to do it full time in 2019 as well. So he's been doing it for years, and I feel like his experience in tech helped him be able to interview all these people and like make products that are like relevant to these people. I see him do a lot of in-person events. I feel like it's Twitter and LinkedIn. I feel like I also found him on Twitter. I would love to have him on one day too and talk about that. But I just feel like it's like spilling information Silicon Valley and tech people want to know, and being a really good interviewer, and also finding ways to diversify that makes sense. Like he offers like different tiers, like the free tier, like top of funnel, and a subscriber like a $20 a month, like a mid tier, and then high ticket item could be like their in real life summit and stuff. And he also does a lot of free meetups around the world. So I feel like it's a combination of leveraging Twitter and LinkedIn and being able to understand the audience as like a former tech worker himself, and designing like experiences that match them.
Gotcha. Okay. So if we're looking at it from like our standpoint, right? We both have decent audiences, right? We're not at Lenny's level where we have got millions upon millions of followers from a personal standpoint, at least, right? I think combined between the both of us, we probably have like 70K across all platforms, I want to say. How do we start converting people over, right? Like what can we learn from Lenny's journey to bring it into how creators make money? Because I think that's step one, right? Is get more people to listen to the show. Almost all the feedback that I've gotten so far has been really good feedback about the information that we're talking about, which is great. If you're one of those people, leave us a 5-star rating, right? That helps us a ton, and also share it with your friends. But also, like, how do we optimize, whether it's our LinkedIn or Instagram for you as well, because I know you post a lot on there. Like, how do we optimize those platforms to convert to something like this, like how Lenny did?
Yeah, like collecting emails and sharing deep dives. I feel like there's a lot of fluff out there on the internet. There's a lot of like people who claim they're thought leaders and they share like really basic thoughts about AI that are highly generated by ChatGPT. Um, and I personally feel like deep dives, like interviewing cool people, analyzing how markets work, businesses work, how brand deals work, behind the scenes of brand deals, how brands think, how creators think about finances is something we could do to stand out. It's just like super deep, super deeply researched content. That's what I see Lenny do, but also really good at writing hooks and interviewing high quality, like interviewing like famous people.
Yeah. Okay. So I think for us, right, I think it's leveraging our LinkedIn and growing our LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'll be talking more about that later because I think they're making some really interesting updates to it all and why it might be a really good time to actually get back onto the LinkedIn grind for the both of us. But you have started posting. I've started posting. One of my posts did really, really well, I think last week or the week before, about the sort of like zoo sanctuary thing. It was crazy. It got almost 100 likes, but no comments on it. And I was like, this has never
Oh,
happened to me before.
that's so strange.
Literally not one comment on it. But okay, with Lenny's journey, what was the biggest lesson for you that you saw?
Like diversifying income streams and collecting newsletter subscribers. I feel like I also talk to a lot of creators. They just like think about growing their following and don't think about funneling them into anything. And also offering like like a free tier, mid tier, high ticket item to like convert people to the highest tier. I kind of do with design buddies too, but I wonder if there's something we can do with how creators make money as well. Whether that's like a premium newsletter subscription about deep dives of the creator economy and finding ways to differentiate between like what Colin and Samir do, things like that too. And also like maybe one day, I feel like such a bandwagon hopper, but I've seen a lot of creators offer like coaching courses, Maven stuff to funnel people in. But I feel like we need to do some more discovery on how could that potentially fit. I feel like sponsorships is cool and all, it's really sexy and all to like have clout. It's like really clout chasey, but it's also like good brand awareness building. Not clout chasing. I don't think sponsorships are clout chasing. I take that back. The right brands are good to be associated with, and it's like they could pay a lot, but it's not sustainable. Markets change, economy changes, budgets change. So I feel like just like takeaways is like collecting a newsletter and being more like upfront about collecting emails. Just like send out whenever a new episode comes out so people are like ready to do it. And the reason why emails is like people get it in their inbox and when people are checking their emails, they're ready to take action, they're ready to buy, they're ready to listen and deep dive, they're in work mode. Whereas on TikTok they're just on fun mode, they don't really want to take, well, less likely want to take action unless it's like TikTok shop where it's just like super like it's interesting because TikTok shop, like a lot of people like buy stuff from there, but it's usually like they buy like gadgets or like tools, like clothes, not really like professional development stuff. Yeah, that stuff, I think. I also feel like job boards could be interesting. That's something we're trying to do for design buddies, but like creator job boards. Because like a lot of companies are actually looking to hire more creators. It's become a real thing, especially with like Cluely and series and what I've seen on Twitter. It's becoming more big and big, like this distribution, and stuff like that too. Yeah, one day I'll be an angel investor. But I feel like I had a lot of random people approach me to do angel investing. I'm just like kind of sussed out by some people. So yeah.
Yeah, I think especially now too, right, with just how the market is from a VC world, everyone and anyone who's anyone, especially in the SF space bubble, let's call it that, is probably trying to build some sort of AI startup and trying to raise money behind it right now. So I think it's really hard to like try and pick and find winners. Of course, I mean at any time it is, right? I think the biggest thing that I've seen from Lenny in the past and just kind of from your quick overview just now is time in the game and constantly iterating beats everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? The same thing with the market too, right? Like I've been doing a lot of just research on like the stock market and like trying to get a better understanding of money and things like that, especially talking to Lillian last week, I think it was, or like 2 weeks ago. And the thing with all of this is if you look at the stock market, at least, if you're just constantly dollar cost averaging into the market, you've likely done way better than anyone else that's tried to buy one stock, right? Same thing with if you just dollar cost averages into crypto, you've probably done very well for yourself as well, instead of trying to like buy low, sell high, and things of that nature. I think it's the same thing in the creator world too, right? Both you and I have been in the game for a while. So has Lenny. I think what Lenny's done really well from a personal brand standpoint is he stayed consistent with his personal brand that whole time, right? And I think that is the hardest part to do, because especially creators, people like ourselves, we get shiny object syndrome, right? Whatever the new sexy thing we want to jump on, create on, whatever it may be. But Lenny's stayed true to sort of that tech product marketing niche, if we want to call it that. And so I think for us, right, like the biggest thing is if we stay in this creator niche for the next 1, 2, 3, 5 years, I think we solidify ourselves as one of the biggest names, right, just because of longevity, but also B, between both of our business minds, if we're constantly iterating and testing and shipping small product tests here and there, I think we're able to build that 5, 7 diversified streams of income the same way that Lenny has. Because I remember at the very beginning, it was just newsletter. And like, it was like, hey, this guy's making his tech salary as a newsletter. Like, this is amazing, when Substack just launched, or it was like at the beginning of Substack's launch. And then now he's got income coming from all these different places. I would say because he kept posting on Twitter, growing that newsletter, and then just launching stuff from there. And I think for us, right, the lesson is keep posting on LinkedIn, right? That's where we both have the momentum. Convert that LinkedIn to a podcast as well as a newsletter. And then from there, start shipping more and more products. And we just have to stay focused, right? I think that's a lot of creators, like, we always want to do everything at once. But if we just build on one thing upon one thing upon one thing, I think we'll be in an amazing spot come next year, let alone in 3-5 years.
Yeah, I agree. I saw Lenny mostly grows on LinkedIn and Twitter and shovels everyone into like his newsletter. But on Instagram, he just like reposts his clips. It's like not that active actually. He has like 22.4K followers and his stuff gets like 30 likes. Like his podcast. So I feel like sometimes like you don't have to, it highlights how you don't have to like do everything. Like he's making $3 million a year and he's not really like, he's just like reposting podcast clips on his Instagram. I'm assuming most of his people come from his LinkedIn and Twitter. So you don't have to like post on everything. But I guess like when it comes to short form content, since you already made the video, I don't mind just like posting it on everything, especially since we're just starting out, just to see which one performs the best. Since I do that too with my own content. I just like post on like LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, the short form videos on everything.
Yeah, and I also think he probably has a team behind him, right? Where he probably just has a VA or someone that's posting across all platforms, or a social media manager that's posting everything on all platforms. So it's not a huge lift for him and his team. I think for us, right, it's Lenny was smart where he went straight from Twitter, leveraging algorithms, to a newsletter, which leveraged consistency, right? Because you have to deal with any algorithms in an email send. We're kind of not necessarily going that route. And I wonder what your thoughts are on that. We're kind of doing like a business deep dive for anyone who's listening. But like,
yeah,
do you think it's smarter for us to actually grow the newsletter, or grow a newsletter right now? Still do the podcast, right? But the newsletter then converts to a podcast. Because we would own the emails, right?
Yeah.
And we can easily take the topics that we talk about in the podcast, throw it into the newsletter, obviously maybe like beef it up, I would assume, right? Make it well done from a written standpoint. But then we would own it rather than a podcast audience. Like, yes, the algorithm and the subscriptions are better than on LinkedIn or Instagram or YouTube or whatever, but it's still not as guaranteed as an email.
Yeah, we should try more on our email list. I think like every time a new episode comes out, we can like have summaries of like deep dives or what to expect, plus like another topic. For example, if we're like researching something for next week's podcast, we can talk about that too, or just like something interesting we find. Like I really like Cole and Samir's newsletter. They They like 3 times a week creator news, and I read it like almost every time because I think it's interesting. It's like little like it's like morning brew kind of esque, where it's just like little like chunks of like, oh, here's news, here's like this what happened, here's this. Oh wait, I got an idea. Since we have like so many like a lot of episodes out already, we could like, for example, we could like make Hustler newsletter like this week and have like this section is like Cluely, this section is like the zoo creator, and this section as like I don't know, Jennifer's podcast, like productivity, vegan tech nomad. So like have like different like 3 sections, and they can reference like different parts of the podcast, so we can have people like new subscribers check out the old episodes too if they want to learn more about that. And I can like cross post it on my own newsletter and Design Buddies newsletter too. Also, another way to growth hack newsletters. Oh, wait, I have an idea. How I growth hack Design Buddies newsletter was I hosted a lot of online events on Luma, and then I would like collect their emails, and then when they RSVP to the event, I have them take a checkbox if they want to check. Like, I would like to subscribe. I would like to like stay in touch for more events. That means I would collect their emails and check them out to my Substack. So what if we did like a LinkedIn live about just like talking shop about the creator economy stuff, and then chuck all the people who wanted more events into our newsletter?
I mean, we could. I think it's interesting, right? For me, it's figuring out, do we focus on the newsletter or do we focus on growing the podcast? I think unless we want to start dumping more and more money right into how creators make money, I think it's hard to do both, right?
Yeah.
We can, but if we had like, for instance, right now, right, I'm doing the editing of the podcast. If we had someone who did the editing for the podcast, that frees up bandwidth to go harder on LinkedIn or go harder on an email newsletter or whatever it may be. But that's why we're looking for sponsors, right? So we can continue to grow the team and build it out, which we're actually getting some interesting conversations right now. So maybe the podcast is going to be powered by one of these companies that we're talking to very, very soon. But yeah, I think newsletter is smart, right? Just because you get to capture their email. I think it was Jerry. Jerry sent me a text the other day about how Claude is being used to write newsletters. I think that's a little scary for the newsletter space because of what's the words? Like saturation, essentially, right? Because if you can just throw a topic into Claude, push out a newsletter, what's the difference between that and any other newsletter in the world, right? So we would have to figure out what our differentiator point is. Yeah. I really like, I forgot the name of the newsletter. Let me see if I can find it really quick. But they do like really good deep dives into not just like they've done creators before, but it's really around like entrepreneurs. Let me see. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure it out over time. Anything else that you wanted to talk about when it came to Lenny?
Yeah. Oh man, I had another idea, but it escaped my mind. This always happens to me. Yeah, I just had another idea. Oh, I want to ask, like, this is like not really related to Lenny, but idea of like growing the podcast is leveraging Instagram channels. Do you ever check those? Like, I made a channel for our podcast actually on Instagram.
Yeah.
There's like 100, 200 people subscribe to it, and then it gets like 10 likes sometimes, and then like 100 people are viewing it each time. What do you think about that as a way? I've been dropping new episodes there every week.
For like our Instagram
The channel,
page?
I called it Creator Club. Yeah.
Oh, did you make a new one?
No, it's called Creator Club. I just like did it for our YouTube channel.
Wait. Are you talking about
The Instagram channel.
Oh, the channel, like the
DM
text
channel. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of people use them. I do check it. Yeah, for sure. I get the notifications all the time. I don't know how well it works, right? There's no real way to track it. I mean, we could start throwing like bit.ly links in there and things like that to track to see if people are actually clicking through and everything. But also I feel that gets better at scale, right? When we have 1,000, 10,000 plus followers or whatever on our Instagram, then when we shoot that out and we're getting hundreds of likes or favorites within the Instagram channel, then I think it becomes an an important sort of avenue of promoting the show. It's just right now, like the numbers on our Instagram are just so small because we're just getting started. We're getting great views on our shorts, I would say, on average. It's just
Mm-hmm.
now a matter of converting from our short form views and then focusing on the Instagram channel. I think that's closer to like middle funnel or bottom of funnel, right? But we have to figure out top of funnel first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like shorts is a good way, but I don't know how the conversion has worked. But the video's been great as we're getting like decent number of views with like, for example, like 8 to 10,000 views for like 100 followers. That's like pretty great numbers in my opinion. And like YouTube, similar amount too. Um, yeah, it's an interesting challenge. But I feel like yeah, like focusing on a podcast first instead of like trying to focus like newsletter, like sending people like too many places could be challenging. And I think we're trying to get more subscribers, more followers on Spotify, more 5-star reviews. It helps us a lot. We were only getting 5-star reviews and then like somebody ruined it. I don't know who. Maybe someone I accidentally banned from Design Buddies. I don't know. But yeah, 5-star and just like more
Yeah,
social proof, I feel like.
I like the social strategy is really interesting. I've talked to a few friends that are a little bit deeper into like the podcast world. And there's a lot of quote unquote podcasts out there that do really well on short form. And the reason that I say quote unquote podcast is because it looks like they're doing a podcast show, but in reality, it's just clips. Like there's actually no long form show. And so they pre plan everything out to make it look like a podcast, but it's literally just hook into content and then call to action at the end to follow the page. But it's not a podcast at all. Even though they set up with mics, it seems like they're talking to each other in that way. And so like that's a really interesting thing that I've also seen in the podcast space, and other friends have too, that brought it to my attention, where it's like, yo, do we just focus on short form because that's the most viral place right now, right? And create a show just for clips rather than an actual long form show.
Like clip farming more.
Clip farming, yes, but like
Yeah.
literally making it seem like we're running a podcast, but we're not running a podcast, if that makes sense.
What's an example of a podcast that does that? Or like a channel that does that? Let me see.
Let me see. So like even if you look at, I mean, Sam and John, they have a long form show, but if you look up OK Storytime on TikTok,
Mm-hmm.
uh, OK Storytime. So if you look at them on TikTok, they've got 1.1 million followers. I'll share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Their clips do like they do a ton of clips. Like I think they post, I want to say 3 to 10 times a day. Like it's kind of outrageous the amount of output that they do. But all of these segments that they have right here that are shown, that if you're listening, check out our Spotify or YouTube because you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. These are all kind of pre-planned segments that they think will do well on social. So they hyper focus these points during the show to like clip farm it essentially for short form. So like for instance, what's a clip that's done really well? This is one with Riley right here. Let me know if you can hear this.
I can hear it.
Okay, so you can't hear it. I don't know how to get audio to play through. Let me see if there's a way. I don't know. There might not be a way for me to play this through. But basically, this right here, the way that so Riley's the one that's on camera right now. He starts this episode or this TikTok with, "I suspect my husband of having an affair with my friend. So I told her husband about it." Like that's literally how they started this clip. And in their pre-production, they know that they're going to be using this as the start of their clip. So Riley in the back of his mind, he knows to play this moment up. And so if you listen to it, if you check out their page and you go and look at it, you'll hear his voice go like super high pitched, everything like that, so that when he clips it out, it's more entertaining for whoever's on the other side that's watching it on short form. So there's people like this. Again, this is a long form type of show. There are others out there that are literally just clips. Let me see. Is it this one? Recon. Oh wait, I think it's on Instagram. Okay, so this page right here, Recon.
Mm-hmm.
So this looks like it's a podcast, right? Like the way that it's set up, you can't hear it, right? It looks like he's talking into a podcast. This is not a podcast. This is literally them sitting there and saying, hey, this is a topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to make it look like a podcast, but it's literally just them talking back and forth, specifically to clip for short form. But it looks exactly like if me and you were in a studio to record a podcast. But they have everything scripted out. They know exactly what they're going to say, because if you look at it, if you go to their website, there's no podcast here. It's an e-com site, actually. Right?
Why do you think they do that? Wait, why do you think this does really well?
So, like, the reason it does well is because it's all pre-planned. Right? So, the way that you and I are talking right now is great for long form. It's unscripted. Mm-hmm. We're not necessarily thinking about what we're doing, right? We do a little bit of research beforehand so that we know the topics that we want to talk about and dive deeper into, but a lot of it is off the cuff. The issue with that from a short form standpoint, right? Like even with James cutting up stuff on the back end, who's our editor, there are certain moments that if we exemplified even more and we knew that we were shooting this for a short, we could act it up and it would do better from a clip standpoint. Versus pages like Recon, right, where they set up as a way of it looking like a podcast, but they know exactly what the hook of that story is going to be. They know exactly what they're going to be talking about, and they close it out within 30 to 60 seconds. And so it's super quick, it's super clean, and it's made specifically for short form, versus ours is made more for long form. And so that's the difference, right? Is we're making content for long form, trying to turn long form content into short form, where their quote unquote podcast, even though it just looks like a podcast, is specifically made for short form. So it's always going to perform better if it's done well.
Yeah, we should try pre-planning some stuff and see how, and just testing that out too.
Yeah, I mean, low key, the way that we should do it, and this is great information, I think, too, for people who are listening, is we could always record our long form podcast, right? And then just record clips after. Right? And so use those clips as marketing, be like, hey, go check out this episode, blah, blah, blah. But that content that we say in the clips actually is never in the episode. It's just literally used for marketing. That could be really interesting. It just takes an extra probably 15, 20 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah. We can definitely do that. I feel like we could like try recording clips for like previous episodes too. Like I can use a studio and just like record clips and just like introduce the other, or like just like kind of like find the most interesting hook or the most interesting like fact about a story from a previous episode and like record that as like a little story time.
Exactly. So maybe that's what we do, right? That could actually be really interesting, and I don't think it would take that much time if you and I did a lot of the upfront work, right, of figuring out and doing the research again, essentially.
Yeah, the scripting.
Because then we just jump on and say it, right?
Yeah, we should do that. We should try that out. Because I feel like sometimes, like, when having a normal conversation like we're doing right now, it's hard to, like clickbait, you know? Like, it's hard to, like, think of, like, stuff that... I just, like,
it comes
like
with
a normal
time.
person.
I think that's us having to get better at clip farming while we're doing a longer form episode. And I think that will come. But in the meantime, I think this tactic of just actually making the clips after or before or whatever is actually really good. We should actually do that starting like
Let's
next
do
week
that.
or something like that.
Yeah, I'll like dive through the other episodes and see what kind of hooks we can do from there.
Yeah, I think that's great. Okay, and also
Yeah.
I think this is a good transition into what I want to talk about LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've talked about it before of like, oh, we wish that LinkedIn would pay out creators the same way that YouTube does or TikTok does or whatever. It is starting to happen
Oh
right
shit.
now.
Oh
I'm not
wow.
sure if you've seen it. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
have not seen this. I need to get on that.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is starting to roll out sort of their competitor to YouTube AdSense, TikTok Creator Fund, whatever you want to talk about or call it from other platforms. It's this thing called, what is it called? I believe it is called Brand Link. I could be wrong.
Oh, thank.
Let me just double check. I'm pulling up this thing real quick. Yes. So the program is called Brand Link. It just launched this year, so it's very new. That's why you probably haven't heard of it. But we have not been invited, Grace. We're not cool enough. Um, According to the stuff that I've been reading, there's only 30 creators in it. And it's like the mega creators, right? So the Guy Razes of the world, the Stephen Barletts, those types of personas, which I personally don't think that's fair. Like if you're gonna roll it out to the people that have been like building on your platform for a long time. I'm not saying we're the people that should be in that, but like people like Austin Belsack, all those people who have been killing it on the platform for the past like 5-6 years, I think they deserve things like this. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
it's a 50-50 split, which is really nice. Um, but the content that you need apparently for it is short form video content. And so the reason I want to bring it up is I think now is the time to start creating short form content on LinkedIn specifically. Now that works for us well, right? If we want to start doing these clips and things like that for the show, because that's content for short form, vertical stuff on LinkedIn. Now's the time, because I would imagine if the beta goes well, this probably starts to roll out over the next 6 months to quote unquote average creators like you and I. And so I think now's the time to start positioning yourself to get a part of that pilot.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking at the website right now. So it's like Brand Link, connect brands with trusted publishers and creators that promoting pre-roll video ads alongside video content in the feed. And I assume this is like the short form content LinkedIn has been pushing. Their team told me they've been pushing videos. And I've also personally been posting like 1 or 2 videos or sometimes 3 videos a week. My views are tanking though. Like I used to saw 50K on LinkedIn, but almost 51K now. And I used to get like millions of views on my short form, like around January, February, March of this year. But lately it's been 10K, 20K, which is like a little bit sad. And like also like a lot of my other creator friends notice this as well. So the algorithm's like really weird. Like the LinkedIn team is like, you should make they even added like prompts to make like corporate prompts to like make videos about, but like the views are tanking. And honestly, like as a creator, sometimes like I'm just like I'm not gonna try as hard if it's not gonna be seen by people. But I still like do it for the vibes. Like I still make content a lot on for Instagram, because I know my audience is like more engaged there compared to LinkedIn these days, actually. Um, which I have like less followers on Instagram, but they've been way more engaged there these days, so it's been motivating. So I create content for like Instagram, and I just like repost whatever one to LinkedIn. But I feel like I don't know, like as a creator, do you feel like a little bit like more demotivated when the algorithms like change and your stuff doesn't get as much views?
Yeah, I mean, 100%, right? I think LinkedIn right now is in a volume game, the same way that pretty much every platform right now is in a volume game. You're seeing it from all creators, where on LinkedIn, before you used to get a consistent amount of views, you might not get as many pops, but you would typically know how many views your stuff would get if it was a decent post, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, I feel like the average of views on most posts has gone down, but when you pop a lot higher, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. In comparison to your average, right? That I would say. And I think one of the reasons that, again, this is more of just inferencing rather than actually knowing, but my guess is because of brand link, where anyone who's a part of that platform or a part of the beta, they're getting their stuff inorganically pushed so that brands view it as a great platform and they pay more. And because those videos are getting pushed, people like you and I, quote unquote normies, our content is getting pushed down in the algorithm, because it's like, well, if you're LinkedIn, obviously you're going to promote the videos that brands are paying to be in front of. And since those are only those 30 creators, it's likely those 30 creators that are killing it right now. I would love to see, maybe actually AJ's platform can look at it, but I would love to see the views of those 30 creators that are in the program right now over the past 6 months. Like, I wonder if they've just like skyrocketed over the past 6 months. My guess is yes. And that means that those views got taken away from people like you and I.
Oh, makes sense. Makes sense. Because it kind
Uh,
of.
I have no proof. There's no proof there, right? Like, this is literally me
Yeah.
putting on a conspiracy hat here, but that is my guess, right? Because just from a
Mm,
business standpoint, if you're LinkedIn, I mean, that's what I would do, you know?
yeah. Same here. Yeah, I mean, that's valid because I noticed a drop when they launched the program. So, yeah. But it's okay. I feel like they're still beta testing it. I still love LinkedIn, even though like my views have been like very small compared to what they used to be. I'm still getting a lot of brand deals and getting a lot of like people converting to high ticket item for design buddies and co-create. So it's okay. So I still post on it like every day. I've been getting more into YouTube as well. I posted my first YouTube video in 2 years this morning, and I just like talk for 7 minutes straight about the truth about why I quit my corporate job, diving into like a personal story. And I don't know, I'm just like testing out YouTube as well. And I didn't edit it at all. I just like did one take. And I kind of want to do more of that. And people like seem to like it so far. I don't like editing that much, and I wish I did, but I just like storytelling a lot. So hopefully I can just like be a really good speaker and not have to edit my video. But yeah, I think like for me, like LinkedIn, I'll still keep posting videos on there. Even though the views are like a little bit embarrassing right now as a creator, that's like I feel like I need to just stay consistent and keep growing because there's still like a lot of people reaching out to me. Even though well, less, no, because like I feel like the algorithm's like not liking me these days. But I feel like I see this as a long-term game. Like just because my videos aren't performing low doesn't mean it'll always be like that. Like this literally happened to my Instagram. So when I was in high school, I literally gained like almost 6,000 followers in 8 months on my I Run Grace Pace Instagram account. I was a senior in high school, and I just like posted about running content, running memes, running life, how I ran, like this race, blah, 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 blah. And then, yeah, I grew a shit ton when I was like just like 16, 17 years old. And then when I went to college, I actually lost like 3,000 followers because I stopped posting about running. So I got injured and I became less relatable. And I just like every time I post, I would lose followers. Every time I post a story, I would lose followers. I was like so sad. And I got down to like, I don't know, like 3, 4K. And then just like, and I've been slowly put it back up. But in the last year and a half, or last year actually, I've doubled the number of followers I have. So I'm almost at 10K now. So I feel like, I almost like lost motivation in my I Run Grace Race account. But I feel like social media really is like a long-term game. Like just because like seasons might be lower, it might be higher later. It's like a weird thing. But I think just focusing on it's a little bit like me being a therapist to myself, but focusing on like the friends you make along the way, and the people you meet, and like improving your storytelling skills, and not be too hard on yourself for your posts for not performing as well on the algorithm. I know it's hard, like especially as like a new creator or even like any creator to like you put your heart and soul into something, it gets like 10 views and just like, oh no, I have failed. But it's like not your fault. Like it could be like a platform is testing a new feature, so they're favoriting other people's posts.